Hey, what's up? It's Jose with another YouTube video. And if you're watching this, guess what? I'm still alive. You are watching me on December 26th, the day after Christmas, and I'm finally getting a chance to get back out into the garage and really focus some time and energy into this bike. I have not forgotten about this channel. I have not forgotten about this project, and I definitely wanted to keep you updated as we close out the year of where I'm at and why I haven't really put a video out in a while. For me, it's been a busy last 6 months. My wife and I had our second kid back in June, and I've been spending a lot of time with both of my kids. We took them out of daycare so that I could be a stay-at-home parent for about 4 months, and so that time is kind of running up because we are going to start back up full-time jobs, and then also we'll be having some additional support for childcare, and hopefully that alleviates some of this time that I've been kind of used up to not only just spend elsewhere, but also having to finish some home projects and some of the other things on top of my priority list. The motorcycle and doing this build is one of those things that I enjoy doing as a hobby, and so I didn't want to just put pressure on myself to work on a bike if I wasn't going to enjoy it, if I wasn't actually going to have the time to do something, because as you've heard me in previous videos say, is that I really only get about a few hours a day or maybe a few hours a week to focus in on one specific thing on the bike, and so that takes up a lot of energy outside of editing as well, and then again having a family and some other responsibilities around the house that I would rather prioritize so that I can continue to do these things as an enjoyable experience. So anyways, I figured I'd get onto this platform and just make a video and just kind of give you an update of where I'm at, and hopefully it's entertaining, I guess, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I'm putting a video out there and just kind of putting some intentions out into the new year, and so my goal is to have this bike ready to go by the middle of the year next year, so some maybe time around spring or summer, I'm not sure. That's the goal. I want to be able to ride this bike this year, and I don't feel like I'm too far off. I have some of the things that I want to make sure I get done before I ride it. So thanks for tuning in. This next few minutes is just going to be me showing you some of the things that I've got planned in store, and then kind of where the bike sits. As you can tell, it's still really just kind of bare bones on the table that I made a few months ago, and it's just kind of been sitting here as I've done other home projects, so I really haven't had the time to do much, but I have mocked up a couple of things, and it's already given me some very interesting things that I need to focus on as I progress forward with the project. First thing I wanted to point out is kind of the stock ride on the front end. So as you can tell, I've got the front wheel back on, and I've got the front end pretty much set up as a stock front end of these 1200, and the fork length is just not happening for me. I definitely want to go 6 over on the front, and so that's one thing that I'll be addressing maybe in the next few months, is adding some length on the fork tubes. I got these 6-inch handlebars that I have just mocked up for now. Honestly, they're just kind of these very basic almost like drag specialty bars. They're not any fancy brand or name or whatever, and they're just straight and back. Well, not back, actually, they're just straight. I don't know if you could tell there, but they're 6 inches. I think they're just the right height. I don't want anything that's too crazy, so I know that I'm gonna have a longer front end, and so I think I'm gonna run with these for a while. But I also have those original buckhorn style ones that I might throw on there on some risers. I don't know, we'll see. This is just one of those things that stood out as I started putting the front end back together. I'm also hoping to have a really clean front end, almost nothing to it, so I may end up changing some of the controls on the front. I haven't decided 100% if I'm going to run a front brake, and so if I don't run a front brake, then I wouldn't need that lever on the handlebars, but we'll see about that. And other than that, that's just kind of what that looks like at this point. The next thing that I did get that I haven't really had a chance to do is I got my tank. So I ordered a King Peanut tank from Lowbrow Customs that came in, and I was able to mock it up and have it kind of sit on the frame the way that I imagine it would be. And I think it looks cool. I think it looks great. But I haven't had a chance to really identify where I'm going to be drilling the holes and then where I'm going to be mounting it. And so right now I'm just kind of leaving this as is so that I can set up my rear fender and have that as a point also of where I'll likely have my seat pan. And so that's the other thing that I'll be thinking about. So as you can tell right here on the back end as well, is that this is all kind of bare at this point. There's not much going on, and that's because I don't have the oil tank in right now, and I also don't have my rear fender on. So those are two things that I do have already. And for me, I didn't want to rush necessarily installing that rear fender, and so that's kind of the next thing on my to-do list. And so once you kind of start getting some of these things together, I've noticed that it's kind of like a domino effect. Once you got one thing, you kind of want to have the other thing ready to go, just because you want to be looking at it and then tacking it in. And I've already made the mistake of just jumping the gun on a couple of things. And so I've had to kind of identify those mistakes and address them. And so I'll show you one of those. As you can tell, I made a pretty big mistake here. I welded on the battery tray onto my rear end here, and then ultimately I had to cut it off because if you can see, that was just going to be a little too high. And look how beautiful that weld was. I mean, goddamn, I can't believe I fucked that up. But such is life. Sometimes you make mistakes and you kind of get ahead of yourself, and you just end up having to pay the price for that down the line. But either way, I had to cut it off because on this side over here, the rear sprocket here with all of these teeth was going to line up just perfectly all the way across and meet the front sprocket here. And so right where that chain was going to sit would have been slapping that battery tray, and I completely miffed that. And I wasn't thinking. I thought, hey, this looks great. I had put the rear wheel on just to make sure the clearance was right and all that, but I wasn't thinking about the sprocket size and what that would be doing to the chain. And so I totally messed that up, and so now I'm dealing with it. And the next thing, again, like I said, is a domino effect, is that once you start putting things back together, you want to make sure you have the right clearances for the rest of the other things that might end up going onto the bike. So as I mentioned, this rear seat pan will end up sitting here where I'm able to then add my rear fender, and then with my rear fender there'll be a placement for the bottom battery tray to be able to hold a support bracket for that rear fender. And so I'll probably end up running this Shinko stock mag wheel on the back over Christmas. Here, I'll see if I can pull this up. I got a couple of goodies that I think are going to be a great addition as I move forward on this project. One being the new chain drive. I got a Lowbrow Customs. Let's see, this was the 130 link. So I know that you could probably get away with a 120, but I definitely needed a longer chain than the one that came stock that I ended up removing. I also ended up getting spark plugs, a wire set kit that you make yourself. Got a 90s and some straight boots, and so I'll be able to make up those. I really like these. I ended up actually getting this same set back, I don't know, like a year ago, and I made them up for my 2017, and they've been great so far, and I really like the look. So another great addition. And then I got some grips as well. So these are some of the retro style lowbrow grips, and yeah, these will be awesome when I add them to the bike. And the other thing that I ended up getting was the TC Bros sissy bar. So this one you make up yourself. It's right here. It's in this grease paper thing. So I don't know if you can see this here, but yeah, got a sissy bar. This is the straight one, and it comes with all of the hardware that you would need to kind of set it up on the rear end. So again, like I said, domino effect. Once you start putting one thing together, you want to have the next thing ready to go. Pricey lessons to learn. Just kind of taking my time this time around. Other than that, that's pretty much it on what I have right now in front of me and in store. Not sure what else I wanted to offer or say, but just wanted to say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still alive. Still got things going on. The garage is actually kind of cleaning up a little bit now that my house project is done. I ended up having to kind of use some of the space to just set up some of the other things that I would need to be cutting and painting and just kind of moving around. So anyways, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of the holidays that you may or may not observe, whatever. Happy New Year. And so that's for sure going to happen. Time does not stop for us. So happy New Year. Hope everything is going well in your life. And if not, hopefully this video was entertaining. And if not, that's okay too. Maybe you're just a Grinch and a grump, and that's totally fine. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time. And yeah, stay tuned. Subscribe for more videos that are coming out soon. Like this video if you found it, I don't know, enjoyable, at least if you're here watching to the very end. And then yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.